So, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Devam.
Good evening, Ajay sir.
Chhabra sir, good evening.
Ajay sir, good evening. How are you?
I am good, sir. Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
So, sir, can we start the program?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Devam, please proceed.
Yes, sir. So, good evening, everyone. It's our privilege to extend the heartfelt welcome to all of you with a special welcome to today's esteemed expert, Dr. Shrestha Chabra sir, on behalf of the Research Foundation of India, to this 6 days faculty development and training program on innovative teaching and learning pedagogy. This collaborative initiative has been organized by the Synergy Research Foundation of India and RFI-CARE in association with Parul University, Gujarat. It is graciously supported by Shodh Malwa, Eklavya University, JHARF Academic Research Guide Association, and Edu Academic Inc. Now, before we proceed, allow me to highlight the commendable work being done by the Research Foundation of India. Committed to uplifting society and enhancing educational standards, RFI promotes Indian research through various events including international and national conferences, seminars, workshops, symposiums, and other activities. RFI serves as a catalyst for integrating intellectual ideas globally, striving to satisfy humanity's thirst for innovation. At its core, RFI is dedicated to enriching the educational process by fostering scholarly inquiry and facilitating the practical application of research outcomes. Additionally, RFI leads research and development initiatives in higher education by establishing strategic partnerships with leading universities across India through Memorandum of Understanding. Its membership comprises faculty, researchers, graduate students, and distinguished professionals, all contributing their diverse expertise to educational research. Notably, RFI operates independently of governmental sponsorship, ensuring autonomy and integrity in organizing over 1,000 international conferences, workshops, faculty development programs, symposia, and more worldwide. Currently, RFI boasts 87 chapters in India and 18 chapters across Asia and beyond, organized into 5 distinct boards representing the West, East, South, North, and Central regions. And today we are honored to have among us a revered academician and research expert, Dr. Shresth Chabra sir, and associate professor at Delhi College Business School, Indore. He is a distinguished figure in the field of education with over 2 decades of enriching teaching experience. His academic journey, culminating in a PhD in labor welfare, stands as a testament to his commitment to research and scholarly excellence. In addition to his teaching roles, he is a prolific author and reviewer with impactful contributions to both national and international academic platforms. His active engagement with reputed journals and editorial boards reflected his dedication to academic rigor and quality. Moreover, his involvement in mentoring and coordinating entrepreneurial initiatives showcases his unwavering support for innovation and academic development. He has also been recognized for his exceptional leadership by respected institutions such as Rotary Club, Amity Business School, and EMG SSM Trust. His effectiveness as a session chair and facilitator speaks volumes of his inspiring presence and expertise. And we are truly privileged to have Dr. Chabra sir with us today to enlighten us on the important theme of case study method for better teaching. So without any delay, I request Chabra sir to please begin his presentation. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Neha ma'am. Thank you for your kind words. Very heartfelt good evening to all the entire RFI family. Saurabh sir, Ajay Jain sir, Neha Jain ma'am, Yograj ji, everyone who is behind the success of this program. Because such programs are obviously one of the platform that has been provided, the generous platform through which you and me can interact. You may be sitting at a remote place in India, and thanks to RFI, Saurabh sir, Ajay sir, that we are interacting through this platform. Uh, and Neha ma'am, thanks for your kind words. She has been always kind in conducting the sessions. Uh, uh, and I also extend a heartfelt evening and thanks to all the participants who have joined us from the different parts of this country. Uh, why I thank all the participants also, because after an entire day of, I can see some of you might be traveling back home while I speak. Uh, you still are interested in getting yourself developed. You still are interested in learning something. So that's shows, or what Neha ma'am used a word. I like that. That speaks a volume for your own development. The interest in your development, and hats off to you all. So with this, the topic that has been given to me today is case study method. I'm pretty sure that all my respected colleagues who are also faculty member at various institutions in various faculties uh, would be would be introduced to this idea of case study. This is something which is not too new types. These case studies are not too new, or may not be very new to this idea of using a case study to teach students. So what I would be doing is that don't have any prescription for you, or I don't have, what I should say. I don't have anything to tell you that, okay, use this, don't use this, do this, don't do this. No, nothing like that. It would be more of an experience sharing session with you, in which it would be both the side communication. I would prefer both the side communication. That if you have got something which can enrich all of us, which can help all of us, then why not? I would be more than happy that you share it with us. The only request would be that before you speak, please raise your hand, okay, so that I know that, okay, yes, someone wants to speak up, and herein you can, then thereafter you can speak. Once you feel you have contributed, please lower down this hand, uh, so that the others also get a chance. So let's make it a two-way communication types. Okay, no pravachans. Okay, nothing that there is a monologue. I don't prefer that ways. So as I said, you might have experienced their own. You might have over this all years, you might have gathered your own experiences. So let's put it all together, and that's how we start off with this session. Okay. Uh, Give me 1 minute, please. Let me share my slide with you. I would put this on the slideshow. If the slides don't move, please let me know. Okay. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is the first slide which is visible to you. I have put it on slideshow, but as I can see, is it visible to you on the full screen, or is it still, not taking it up?
Sir, it's visible.
Okay, and has the slide changed, Nihama? Have you gone on the second slide after the
No,
introductory
sir.
slide?
No, sir.
Now that's where the problem is. Anyways, let's now it's visible.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm pretty sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry that you would have to manage with this. But I'm pretty sure that this would be this is readable and you can take it from me. So this is what we would be discussing largely. That what are case studies? What are the different types of case studies? Dealing with a case study, discussions. What can be the different sources of getting the case studies? I would, talk about more, as I told you, more of an experience sharing types. To some extent, I would also give my inputs to you on case writing as well. Okay. So let's start with this. See, primarily, what we want to do is that we want to give a practical, whichever field of study we come from, irrespective of that, we wish to give some practical understanding, some practical knowledge, uh, some practical guidance to our students. One, because they can relate it with the theories. Two, it can help them in their future career. Okay. And over these years, I have realized that the most critical element of any individual, professionally or personally, is to take a decision. Okay. Even not taking a decision or postponing a decision is also a decision. You take it up consciously that, okay, this is what I would, let's see it afterwards. Okay. Keep this in waiting. So even if you are keeping something in waiting, you know that, this is your decision to keep that thing in waiting. Okay. Plus, moreover, what you do, so decision making is a critical idea. Okay. Because decision making carries a cost with itself. And sometimes, which I keep repeating, sometimes the cost of decision is an entire lifetime. Okay, so if you end up making a right or wrong, whatever decisions you make up, sometimes the cost is making it, you have to pay the price of that decision entire life. So having said this, we would definitely like and train our young minds in this decision making attributes, or through this decision making, in this decision making attributes. We would definitely like to train young minds. And while training young minds into decision making, or getting things practically, or understanding things practically, we would like that they get that feel of of real life working. Okay. So how can you make them real life feel? One of the idea obviously is to take them in field. Okay. Or there are other management games and whatnot. But besides that, there are what you call as case studies. So case studies can help you get on to something which they may feel like, okay, doing in classroom, but which can install some amount of a practical learning within them. So that's where the concept of decision making comes in play. I've written a word over here, if you can look into that thing, critical thinking. What do you think, according to you, is critical thinking? according to you, what do you think is critical thinking? Anyone who would like to contribute? I believe I am audible. So any one of you would like to contribute their ideas into what is critical thinking like? Okay, nonetheless. So you are trying to look into. Okay, Shweta Patil ma'am says. Uh, so okay, you look out for pros and cons of your work. Shweta ma'am, that is not in slideshow mode because as I told you, once that was done in slideshow mode, it was not moving. So hence I had to take it out. Okay, thinking from deeper aspect. Great.
So it's more like logical thinking, is it? Like
Okay.
using reasoning and taking a
Uh,
more of as ma'am said, it's more of a deeper thought process into one particular situation, logically as well.
okay. Great, great, great. Creativity, research skills, analyzing. Great, great. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Keep contributing your ideas. So, have you considered the plus and minus of the situation? What ma'am was saying. Have you considered all the pros and cons? Have you analyzed the situation from all directions to figure out that, what can be the situations or what can be the ideas that are possible? Have you evaluated the situations from all the sides? Okay. And have you looked it into all the things and then trying to figure out what is the have you taken the measure of the water? Have you analyzed the depth of the water before you actually start leaping, jumping into the water? Okay. Have you looked into that? If the answer is yes, then probably you have a problem well written stands half solved. Please understand this. And this becomes repeatedly necessary or increasingly necessary because in practical life situation the problem that we often face is that we don't have any Google to give us to give us some solutions to it. When many people talk about the AI inputs or many people talk into many things, but in practical life solutions I see, I seldom see that how you would be, would be giving all practical life problem to Chat GPT or any other AI tool to listen to what you can say is standardized solution, which you also know, obviously. Okay. So what can be a different type of a solution? Okay. So if you can look out for these things, if you have thought about everything, okay, and then if you are if you are trying to alive or arrive at a decision, that is where critical thinking is evolved. At times, uh, as I told you, uh, you know I heard a very famous saying which said that ki money is earned through illogical ways. Okay, where there is not too much logic applied, you can still earn money out of that because people are looking forward. So that's a different area. I'm not getting onto that. But have you thought about it? Okay, that this is the solution. Like say, give an example. You might be facing some problem at your kitchen or some problem in your home, a sort of everyday type of um, problem. Okay, and then you feel that okay, this there should be a product like this can be done, that can be done, and why don't you Google it? And you would find that some problem, someone has actually solved that problem and actually thought about this problem, and there is a product or a service available onto that. Okay, that type of problem, somebody has already thought about it, and they have already developed a solution. So what are you thinking about, and how are you gonna make a product or a service category entirely different from what that is already available to you. So that is where, even if you are wanting to do it out of box type of a thinking, you need to first understand that what are the solution available within the box. That means what are the solution already available. Mix match of the solutions, or you have evaluated all solutions and then you are trying to figure out an innovative solution. That is where out of box thinking would involve. Okay. So don't end up making a so-called commons type of a solution, which is already, or better, I should say, an obvious type of solutions. Okay. So don't end up making an obvious solution, because that is something which everyone is aware of, or most of the people know about. Okay. So hence you all are right in that thing, that have you considered critical thinking? And that is what something I believe, that this dimension of idea, if we install in people, or if you are able to install as a software, in terms of software, I'm saying, if you are able to install this idea in our students' brain, that they can think differently, okay, then probably things would be, better done. Okay. So have you actually thought about things? Have you given a serious thought about it? Have you looked into what are the solutions which are available? What if you want to do? Either you apply the solutions which are given. Simple. Okay. I want to peel a potato. There is a potato peeler available in different sizes and shapes in the market. I can pick up one of them. I can, peel the potato. Simple. Life ends there. Okay. So, but if you are not happy with the potato peeler which are available in the market, then what is your solution? Okay. So have you tried what is already available? And if that has not helped you, then how you are going to look into a different dimension? Okay. So that is something which one should, cater, or one should, actually look into. And that is what you would end up.
Sir, are you there?
Okay, I'm really sorry. There was some issue regarding technology. Anjana Sood ma'am has raised the hand. Yes, please, ma'am. Anjana ma'am, you have raised a hand. Do you want to say something, Anjana ma'am?
Good evening, sir. I was unable to hear your voice, so that I
I'm
raised
really
my
sorry.
hand.
There was some technical issues, so that has been corrected now. I hope I'm
Okay, thank you, sir.
audible now.
Yes, sir. Yes, please.
Okay, great. Thank you. So these are the type of cases that I believe you must be dealt with some of them. So if yes, then can you contribute something? Non-exhaustive list is given, that is seen on your screen. You have got closed-ended, open-ended, case and caselets, and things like that. So are you aware of this cases, or any of such case types? So if you can contribute, that would be a great help. Else, I continue with the list. Anyone who wish to contribute? Okay, let me start with that. You can join as and when you like in. Uh, see, if you have got couple of okay, Prachi ma'am, closed-ended would be like more of yes or no type answers, in the sense that you have got couple of paragraphs or couple of pages followed by question answers. So mostly students treat it as an unseen type of a passage. Okay, so that is where you know that okay, these are the problems that I have to look at, or these are the issues that I have to look into. So that's how you end up looking into a closed-ended cases. In an open-ended cases, uh, probably you can identify an issue. That open-ended cases are a bit tricky in the sense that you have to identify an issue, and once you have identified an issue, then you can obviously you can look forward to a type of once you identified the issue, then you can look out for the solution of the case. If you remember, I just told you that problem where understood stands half solved. So that is where you have gotten you do a issue identification. So that would be of a great help to you. Okay, but as I told you, these are more tricky. So if you have dealt with Harvard cases, if you have dealt with other such cases which are available through Harvard Business School HBS account, so they would be mostly open-ended in nature. Okay, so less case you would find on this uh, Ivy League schools, wherein which are open-ended in nature, and they also link to the second characteristic that they are lengthy in nature. So they would extend anywhere between 5-7 pages to onwards. So they have at least 3 or 4 exhibits attached with them, which can be used. So those lengthy cases would be what you call as the cases. Okay? So anything beyond 1 or 2 pages would be a case. Then you can have a caselet. Caselet would be primarily small cases, generally based on paragraphs or couple of paragraphs only, okay, or a single paragraph. And then you can also, you have to discuss. There may be a question, or there may be 1 or 2 questions that may be followed at the end. So that may be there. Please understand this thing, that in order to generate a discussion in the class, it is not necessary that you need to have a lengthier cases. Okay, it's not compulsory that you need to have a lengthier cases only. Then it obviously would depend on many factors, that which type of case, or which type of case that you would select or you would choose from. Okay, so I would come on to these factors. Okay, let's keep a note on this thing, and please, someone of you may please remind us that what are the factors in selection of a case. So I'm putting it on the chat. Okay, so please, someone of you please take a note of it. Please remember this thing. Uh, so there can be a success or failure case studies depending upon, say, for example, if you are teaching entrepreneurship, then obviously a success failure case study would relate better and would be done much better. You can always have a function specific case study. That means, like say if you are talking in terms of management, so you can have a marketing and HR, finance, operations, supply chain, in any of these case studies, which would be, very function specific. So you are only focused upon that particular area. Or you can have a comprehensive or multifunctional case studies. Okay. So you can always have a multifunctional case studies wherein, like say, when we teach strategic management. So see, organizations are a combination of different things. Okay. So it's simple like that. If you complain of one simple problem to the doctor, then doctor may only take a blood test, okay, and or a simple test, and that would be all. But if the doctor feels the problems can be multiple, then obviously he may advise a sonography along with a blood test and along with other tests. So that that becomes that can give you an idea about how different functional things are put together, are acting, okay, or how they are these functional things are working together. So in the same in the same direction, or if we draw the same analogy, so organizations also have different organ systems, okay, different departments. So either the problem which starts from one department can travel to other departments as well. Okay, and that's how you find that different departments, they travel with the same the problem which started from one would, if you have got a wrong product, then obviously the sale would be impacted, then obviously the finances would be impacted. So that's how that's a cascading effect that you can have. But but the core of the problem is something else. So try and teach students that they need to be doctors. Okay, that they need to separate symptoms from the problems. So what do I mean by that? Let me give a brief idea onto that. So if you go to a doctor, like say you have got the malaria and dengue season on with rains and mosquitoes coming in. If you go to doctor that you have got chill, you after chills you get fever. What doctor should treat? The chills or the fever? According to you, what should the doctor treat? The fever, obviously. Okay. So, Shweta, I hope you are getting the difference what I was talking about. That there is a difference between symptom and the problem. Certain things in organization or even in our personal life and are indication of the problem. They are not the problem. Okay. So the problem may be different. These are you may get an indication. So don't try to treat the indications or don't try to treat the symptoms of the problem. Try and treat the problem itself. Okay. So don't give a blanket to the. So think about it that doctor gives you a blanket. You go to the doctor with chill fever problem, and the doctor gives you a blanket that whenever you start feeling chilling, na, take this blanket. Okay. And then, you won't feel the chill. That's how you would never be cured. So at times, that's how we also deal in our life. That we give blankets rather than treating the fever. So at times, differentiating between the problem and the solution or the problem and the symptom is a crucial idea. And I would connect it back what we were just discussing before that now, that critical analysis would help you understand this thing. And also that open-ended cases would also help you understand this thing that how you can, once identified, how you can distinguish between the two. Okay. So how you can distinguish between the two is the that would help you understand that have you identified the issue correctly. Okay. As a teacher, how that can be of help to you? Say, for example, on almost all good cases that you would be referring to, and if you have got an educator account, which many websites provide it separately, I would come to that part later. You would also have an access to educator's copy. Now, this educator's copy would give you teaching notes, and this teaching notes would help you identify. Please go through the case, go through the teaching notes, help the students identify the cases. But once they get into practice of identifying the cases and things like that, they would automatically pick up what I say. They would automatically pick up from the next time that okay, this is what something this is how I have to look into the cases. Okay, so the more they would practice, the more they would understand this difference. And actually, see, critical thinking cannot be taught as a theory. It needs to be developed within the people. So with more examples, with more practice, they would ultimately develop what we were talking about through analysis. Okay, more the cases they would do, the better analysis that they would develop onto that. Okay. Then you can obviously the cases that we have talked about so far, or mostly that we deal in, are the written cases. Has anyone tried video cases? Has anyone in this August gathering tried a video case? Okay. So let me, just give you an example of video case, and then I would take you back. So a video case can be anything like from this. Okay. You can refer to an interview of a person, or you can, it's not necessary that you play the entire thing. You can draw excerpts out of it. You can draw, a shorter lines and shorter, moments out of it. Okay. It can be the always, the documentaries which are available. So please see that there are no copyright issues. You can always refer to those documentaries. Say, for example, if you are teaching, if you are a teacher in engineering, and then you have got, all those Nat Geos and Discovery mega structures and mega projects and things like that. So, plus there are many documentaries which are made. Uh, when I used to teach at a UK-based university, we had documentaries prescribed. Okay, and at the end of those documentaries, they were a type of a workbook which was given to our students, which was 3 or 4 pages type of written work. We started with, okay, what is the name of the organization, where it is placed, the basic information, so that students listen to that documentary. Okay, or how effectively have you listened to that documentary, and then there would be analytical questions towards as we go towards the end of that. But my experience says that students seriously, won't be interested in too many documentary types. Okay, they get bored with this generation. They get bored very easily with this documentary. So don't pick up documentaries, much about it. You can pick up a docudrama wherein they pick up, again, based on the subject. You have to figure out, see, you have to find out that where I can, pick up that there would be some narrations, there would be some interview, there would be some documentary. So, all a combination of that. So you can, like say, if you log into Netflix, so there would be some docudramas which would be available, okay, which are already available, provided they are of use to you in your own teaching. Or I'm not, again, please understand that I'm not saying that you pick up the entire thing. Okay, you can always filter out based on your requirements. You can always filter out and pick up small, portions from that thing. Movies, obviously, or web series. Okay, that can be another add-on to you. The kids will be very interested onto that thing. Okay, and they actually make a difference. Don't think that movies or video cases or say no or scenes from movies or series, they don't make up that difference. You can have a better connect. Okay, you can pick up advertisements to show many things. Okay, like say when I used to teach consumer behavior, I would pick up many advertisements and connect it with various ideas when I talked about consumer self, personality, and this and that and what all. Okay, so you can pick up those ideas, show it to them, so that would create that audio visual impact would be there. So let's take it as take from here examples. Okay, say this is a Malayalam movie. Okay, uh, released in 2024, and towards the end of the movie, it is shown that there are, it's a story of students which who are who are were outrageous types. So a teacher comes in and then he decides that okay, there is no concept of backbench. There is a concept of circular, sitting or UV shaped of sitting arrangement, which has been adopted across Kerala and many other uh, states have adopted after inspired from this movie. So you can always pick up movies. This movie was recently in news. Okay, so I picked up that idea. So that's what my point is, that don't say that that movies don't inspire people. Obviously they inspire. Okay, I've given you some of Hindi movies. I've picked up that thing, Pursuit of Happiness. Okay, Dead Poets Society, Forrest Gump, Rocky. Um, then there are many other highlights. There are many movies, Hollywood movies, which you can use it to show that, or you can pick up. Say if you're teaching entrepreneurship, you can pick up some part from The Founder, or there are many other good movies which talk about say the Martian. You can talk about that how perseverance and perseverance. You need to follow your objectives. You can pick up. Finding Nemo. So you can you can look out for different types of examples. If you want to talk leadership, Sam Manikshaw's movies. want to talk about say that many biographies would give you an idea of leadership, motivation, inspiration, many things, teamwork and whatnot, lagan. Okay, so you can name it, and you would have some of the movies which would be falling in those arenas, which or falling in those domains in which you are teaching. Okay, you can always look out for such movies, or you can always look out for scenes from movies, specific scenes from movie. You don't need to show the entire movie to the students, but you can always look out for that thing, or you can edit the movie and show it. They again based on the topic that you are picking up from the movies. So next, you can have a problem solution type of that. In the part one, you can give problems, okay, and in part two, you can have the solution given. Okay, seldom you would find the such cases of problem solution, but yes, you would find some cases. So if you can give students these problem cases, problem solution type of a case, then you would always find out that okay, a problem solution case would give you an idea as to what I should say. That let the students get onto the problems, the solutions, and they're trying to figure out things. And once they're done with it, you give them the second part to read upon. And once they read the second part, they understand that okay, they can gauge that okay, to what extent were we on a a different direction. Somebody might have what we were talking about out of the box solution, which even the solution may not, actual solution implemented by the company may not have it. If possible, call up from the company executives and then let them have the live feed of the problem. So you pick up a problem from industry that they might have already solved upon. I would come to that thing. Remember, this is the second idea I'm giving you, that while you're writing a case, you can do this also. Okay, so when I would talk about the primary data, so please remind me of that also. So you can have case roles, problems, and you can obviously that role play types that okay, he's Mr. X, he's Mr. Y, he's Mr. Z, and so on and so forth. And then there is a board meeting set, room set up, and how the argument and counter argument goes into that. Okay. So it's you give them basic information on from the case, and then they deliberate on to the solution. So that can be a case role play type. So, or obviously a storytelling method would be a definite idea, specifically if you're teaching in human resources and other areas. Storytelling would be a leadership, but particularly communication if you're teaching. Storytelling would be a great idea to talk about. Okay, so any questions before I move on to the next part? Any questions if anyone has on these types of cases? Anything which I might have missed, or you want me to deliberate more upon, or if you would like to contribute on any of this, please please go ahead. Or anything that you would wish to contribute. Yes, any questions or anything that you wish to contribute? Or shall I proceed with the next thing? Yes, Shweta ma'am, please.
Sir, I did ask a question in the message box. Is it
Okay.
mandatory that video case always ends up with some worksheet or questionnaire?
No,
Or
no,
if
no,
you are just
absolutely not.
achieving a part learning, is it also fine that you achieved a part?
Absolutely, ma'am. See, what I tell you of my two or three experiences. One was that, as I told you, that was something which was given from the university that, okay, once the students have gone through this case, they feel, in order to make them feel connected, you can give them, a type of questionnaire or a type of worksheet, okay, which they can fill up after they have seen the video. That can be point number one. point number 2 can be that idea that that as I was giving you an example, that in my consumer behavior I used many videos, okay, or while I teach say other subjects, I use some of the clippings from movies or some of the clippings from different, even from interviews also. So it's perfectly fine. My idea is that it should convey what you are, or it should add an audio visual flavor to or flair to what you are already talking about. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
even in that case, Shweta ma'am, like me suggest you, like even what we have tried is that some part of it is written. Okay, you generally you don't like students to read 10, 12 pages. Okay, they would be reluctant on that. They might be. So it's always better that you put on, say, some videos which can help them, not more than 2 or 3, not too lengthy types. So some videos which can help you, say, which can help them to actually understand this thing. Okay. And
Okay.
then what you can do is that the rest of the information we have put on a written format. Like say, once we were doing a case study on Mitti Cool, if you might have heard this
Okay.
company's name,
Yes, sir. Yes,
versus
sir.
versus or vis-a-vis their competition that then introduced Godrej Chotu Cool. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
so Chotu Cool's information was put in as in the written format. Sorry, Chotu Cool's information was shown in a video. Okay, like the company video which shows the features and this and that. Okay, that was available then through their website. And Mitti Cool case was, the key points from Mitti Cool were taken on to a written case. Okay, plus along with some audio visuals from Mitti Cool, that so that you understand that okay, this is what Mitti Cool is doing, this is what Chotu Cool is. So then they get an audio visual. They are not abstract thinkers. They have seen two products, at least they have seen it in visuals. Okay, there is a screen on the screen, there are these two products, and now they know that okay, what is that they are comparing. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so
Got it.
even you can try that also, Shweta ma'am.
Yes. So, sir, the thing is, we are trying it in the class, but we don't know that this is what is called as video cases or things like that.
That's what my point was, that at times we do that, ma'am,
Yes.
without knowing that exactly, this is what can do things for us. But it's perfectly fine. As I told you, ma'am,
Yes, sir.
these methods are obviously, a mundane type of methods. So what innovation you can do in such methods, like I give an example of Mittukul versus Chotukul. Okay, so while teaching strategies and things like that, I use this combination that something was put on PPT, some things were on video, some things were on written. Okay, so
Hmm.
you have got a written page also, video also, and a PPT also. So you are using all three formats as a combination. Okay.
So at
So
least one of them they will go
yes,
through, or
they would have all the three impacts that they
yes.
have seen in the PPT. There are necessary information, and they have seen both the products. So they have seen the advertisements of Chotu Cool. They have gotten information on Chotu Cool and Mitti Cool written also. So that would help them, remember that okay, this is the information which is something that I should rely upon, or the data that I should use while making a decision. Okay, that how should vis-a-vis, if I have to market it, how should I go with it. Okay, because see, my idea again would be the same, ma'am, that you have to give them a feel of how in practical life or in a corporate life decisions are made.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So in a corporate house, you can always have a combination of something which is written, something which is shown to you, and something the person speaks. So you have to put in all these three together, and then you have to take a decision that what is to be done. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Like say, for example, you have got an exhibit. So you can play, rather than putting at the end of that exhibit, say you have got a financial statement. So rather than putting out there as an exhibit, put it on the screen. That if they have to, calculate some ratios, or if they have to do something about, if you have to check the profitability, the ratios are already calculated. Okay, because see, that's what you would expect a manager not to calculate ratios. That's an accountant's job. But that is what already put on the screen. So based on that thing, would it affect or impact your decision making? So in that way, you are always easing the work out, because your idea is to teach students to take decision, not to get involved into doing things like, provided your objective is different. Your objective is to make them calculate the ratios, then do that first. And then once they have calculated the ratios, put it on the screen and then help, then ask them the decision pointers. So that takes me to another understanding, that what is the objective of the case that you have picked up.
Yes.
Please understand.
Yes. Yes.
And that is what, is the first factor. I've written that in the chat, that, that what are the factors on which you should pick up a case.
Yes.
The first idea is that what is the objective of you teaching a case? For heaven's sake, please don't choose a case study because you are not prepared with your lecture today. Okay, please don't do that. This young, smart generation would catch you up in next time that, okay, today there is no class because sir or madam is going to teach the case study, because they have come unprepared. Hence, they are giving, they are using a case study as a replacement. So please don't make a case study a replacement. Okay, that is point number one. Point number two, please make sure that the case study and the position that you're using, see, there can be different factors or different, multiple learnings in the case study. Make sure that you are picking up only that part of the case, or make sure that you are picking up only that area from the case which is relevant to the students. Okay. So don't try to fit anything into anything. So, your objective of teaching the case, or your objective of understanding that how this case would relate to what I am trying to talk, or would this case carry a definite meaning of something that I'm trying to talk with my students? Would the students be able to relate with it? If the answer is yes, use that case study. Third, the subject that you are speaking upon. Okay. It's not compulsory that every subject should have a same type of a case study. Fourth, please make sure that you are using a multiple ideas onto a case study, at least during a semester. Don't stay back only with one thing, that you are using, only video cases. No, use different cases, use different method, case types to engage students. As I was making a point that, don't ever feel that only lengthy cases make a good case. No, small cases, one or two paragraph cases can, uh, can give you enough information, or can engage the student for or for at least an hour, if not more. Okay. So please be clear on to what you are trying to convey. Is the case study fitting in that conveyance? What subject are you using it for? And the most important thing, keep changing your case studies. With every batch you teach, you would have a lesson plan. I'm pretty sure that many universities, many institutions follow this method of having a lesson plan. With lesson plan in place, try and use case studies which are more new. Okay, try and case studies which are more relatable with this generation. I give an example. I taught a subject in which that was at 9:30. That means the first lecture in the morning. And usually, those cases would be picked up from Harvard and other business schools. But those cases, the feedback that I got from students was that, those cases, like say some of these cases were from world-renowned pharmaceutical companies. Okay. Am I audible? Is my voice going off types, or I'm not able, you are not able to hear me?
You are audible, sir. Absolutely audible.
Okay, okay. Ma'am, can you please check your connection? Okay. So, so that's how you need to. So I was giving an example that, at times, so that was a case regarding pharmaceutical industry. Now think about it. Right, 9:30, the first class in morning of students coming afresh to the class, and they are reading about cancer drug discovery. How a management student, how boring and less engaging it would be for them. Okay. Vis-a-vis, say for example, if I have to take a case study with you, with this 58 or 60 odd people, I give you two examples. or I give you selection between the two. Okay. Let's do a case study on operations management, or say in anything marketing of cancer drug. Okay, so that would involve drug development, and I would take you series through that thing. That would involve production. I give you comprehensive cases. Or the other idea is that we talk about Netflix. How does Netflix manage its operations and things like that? How does Netflix markets itself? Which according to you would be better? Netflix. Okay. Anyone else? Shweta ma'am says Netflix. Anyone else who has got interest in the pharma one? Okay. Netflix, unless someone is from a pharma background. Okay. Shweta ma'am, even if Amazon sale, Netflix, okay. So Madhuri ma'am, I'm giving option between the two. Either you pick up the Netflix one or the pharma, the marketing of a pharma drug. See, it's obvious that most of us would end up, with Netflix. Okay. Because that is something which is relatable. So Sweta ma'am, if I would have been talking to, say, a pharmacist, or there would have been a good number of pharmacists in this gathering, then probably I would have picked up, or people would have voted more for the pharma company and the sale of a pharma drug rather than maybe Netflix. Okay. So I hope you are getting my point, that you need to connect with your audience. You need to understand that, okay, this is where my audience is, and this is how my audience can be, I can look it from that angle. So always understand this thing, that the case study that you are trying to pick up is something that we might be given you onto that thing, that please pick up a case which is relatable. Okay. And you're not using it as you have decided onto that thing, and you're not using it as replacement of the case. Most of the time there would be there may be two issues. Okay. So always start from the simple ones, start with caselets, and then get on to, once you have then get on to a maybe 2 paragraph, a page, 2 page, and then maybe one or two, say a combination of one or two 15-16 page type of case study. At least introduce them to that thing, provided your course demands for that thing. Again, please look into the objective of the course. Okay. So that is where and if you can reduce the margin of the case before printing it, so that would be of a great help. That would reduce the perceptual length of the case. Okay. At times it's always better that you give preparation times to people, but at times it's always better that you ask the people to read it within the class. And always remember that whatever assignments or assessment strategy you are picking up, there is some softer learning behind that. Not only marks are associated, or not only not linking to only theory practices. Let me explain this more. In real life situation, do you always have that leisure of time? The answer is no. In real life situations, your bosses would be briefing you about some case, and in next 10 minutes you have to go and meet the customer, or next 10 minutes someday you rush into the class, you just get 5 or 10 minutes to look into your PPT. You had some urgent meeting with the boss, and you just have to run to the class, and you just got 5 or 7 minutes to read into the PPT. What do we do with that? You manage it. Yes, you would agree with that. So that's how make when you give that classroom type of case, you are teaching softly to the students how to manage things. Okay, because as I told you, time is always a luxury. Okay. So at times it may be allowed, at times it may not be allowed. If you're trying to give a longer case study, give it in groups rather than individual. These are just my experiences that I'm trying to share with you. You can always have a different type of an approach altogether. So You can give them smaller, you can, if you're giving them a larger case, you can, and you can handpick one of the students who are so-called studious in the class, and give it to each group, so that at least they can come prepared onto that thing, and then they would make that entire group knowledgeable. What else what we have done is that you divide the case, that okay, first 2 pages, because there is a concept in psychology which you call as social looping. Everyone's responsibility is no one's responsibility. So it's always better that you divide those, like say, if you have got a 16-page cases, okay, so you can assign 3 pages, 4 pages each in a four student group, depending on the group size. You can always assign equally to them, okay, so that they somehow managed working teamwork also, and many things you can actually focus upon on that. Make sure that you are not trying, once you allow them to ask the question, there are no personal attacks, okay. So they need, as a managers tomorrow, they need to learn this idea that at times, even in boardrooms also, there can be personal attacks, but that is how they need to respond to, and that is how they need to control also. If they are in a controlling position, they need to ask their fellows not to do it, and at that time they need to manage that emotionally also. That can you manage your calm, when you are that okay. So there are such things, as I told you, I'm not getting into the do's and don'ts of it, okay, but this is what I generally feel that this can help you. These are some of the resources which are listed onto it, okay. um, I would like to focus upon the last one of that. Why don't you come up with your own case study? Since we are very close to our finished time, I would not like to extend it beyond another 5 minutes if I'm allowed. So why don't you practice your own case study? Okay. So can I take 5-7 minutes or more of yours?
Sure, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you. So why don't you practice your own case studies? Why don't you come up with an edited book? And these days edited books are there are publishers which are ready to publish it. So why don't you come up with your own case? Now, what you can do while writing your own case, I'm not getting into the detail of it, but briefly I would try and explain it to you. See, we all have shifted our jobs, okay, from one organization to other organization. Now, provided that you're not trying to paint the picture, you're not trying to to blame others, or you're not trying to prove yourself innocent or a victim, you can write your own experiences, okay. And this can be as a customer, as an employee, it can be anything like that, okay. But the precaution is the same. You are unbiased. You're not trying to prove yourself. If you are the lead character, or if you are, trying to narrate a story, you're not trying to narrate a story from someone's, viewpoint. Okay. So please make sure that that doesn't happen. Then you can obviously pick up your own experiences as a customer, as a marketer, as an employee, in different roles that you perform, based on the subject that you have. Or you can pick up secondary data like ICMR does it, that is available in the public domain. So you can collate that data, write it meaningfully, and you can make it as a case study. Okay, so if you visit ICMR's website, you would find many such case studies, which is obviously made out from the public domain data, which is always already available. Okay, so it's already in public domain, so there is no one who can challenge onto it. Okay, so it's already it's a proven track. So reference that the thing of that domains of that the information available in the public domain, give proper references, citations, and you can make a case study. Or you can you can use a primary data. Okay, so you can connect with the company. Many companies would be interested in telling you their success stories. So remember, I was telling you about success failure case study. So many companies would be happy in telling you about their success stories. Many companies would be likely, or they would be interested in telling you that there was a certain problem at their end, then, and how did they came across that problem, or how did they sailed through that problem. So you can, what you can do is that you can give the students that as a case. You can write a case, give it to the students, okay. And all, let me remind you, as a reviewer of a case journal also, that Generally, all good case journals would prefer that you have at least discussed it twice in a class or two with two different batches before you and improved over it and before you send it to final publication. So that's always preferable. Okay, so please do that. And what you can do is that you contact certain company. They would be more than happy that, okay, see, everyone, the problem that you face today would be your strength tomorrow. So everyone would be very happily sharing that information that, okay, we came up through this problem and that is how we sailed through. So once you have got that company or you are finding that company, so then obviously tell them about that. Okay, this is once you have given the case to the student, call up their executives. Okay, let them listen live to what your students have to offer, and as I was telling, out of this box type of a thing, and let them discuss this solution with the executives of the company. Okay, not see that's what my point is. Not all companies would agree, plus not all executives would agree to come over the place, but yet let them once in a time you can always try this type, or make sure that once you are writing one case study annually, and then you are trying to call the executives of the company and trying sharing the real life feedback on the case, the problem solution case we talked about. So hearing that the live solution with the executives of the company. So let that executives also feel that how good your students are about understanding a certain corporate problems. Okay, so you never know how this can help them in placements and whatnot type of a thing. Okay. So you can always look out for that type of a thing. But please understand this thing very importantly, that if you are using a primary data, then please obtain a written permission, okay, from the company, okay, before you actually get it published or you actually start using it. Get that written permission from that company, or you can use a combination of both. As I told you, like say you can collaborate with different people sitting in different university, your friends sitting in different university. Like say we have got around 61 people as of now. So at least 55 of you are there. You would have a WhatsApp group, obviously. So why don't you connect with each other? You start propose a book, maybe a multidisciplinary type of case methods book. You would find that how to write a case, or the guidelines of a case on any good journal of case, and from that you can pick up author's guideline and you can alter those author's guideline to suit your your book or your guidelines, and then you can call for contribution from different people. And once you have got those required number of pages being contributed, you can always get it published. Okay, so that would be of a great help, that would be of a great contribution, because many people do complain about this thing that they're not able to find what you call as the India cases. So give them that feel, that first-hand feel about those Indian cases type of thing. So again, you can look out for such type of collaborative efforts, and believe me, once you would teach students your own written cases, you would be delivering actually a wisdom to them, not only knowledge or something like that, because you have felt that company, you have seen that company, you have written that case. So the level of expertise in that case would be a very different type of a thing, and you can always present it on national and international forums. So that's all from my side. I'm sorry I took 7 more minutes of yours. That's all from my side. If you have got any question, any remarks, you would like to add something, please go ahead and do that. Yes, any questions, any remarks, anything that you would like to contribute, you can do that. Else, I hand over the proceedings to Neha ma'am. And before I hand over that thing, I thank you all for patient listening and contribution. I have, how do you select or create a case study that is both relevant and challenging for a specific course or topic? Okay, sir, Dhirendra Kumar sir has asked this question. So let me answer this question quickly. Dhirendra sir, what you can do is that based on the object, refine it further. That based, pick up a particular topic. Say, for example, you are teaching something in a particular topic, to pick up a very particular topic and then search out for specific resources where you can find out those particular topics, or you can find out case studies in relation to a particular topic. Okay, so that's how you can be very specific that okay, this case or this topic. And as I give you an insight onto that thing, that most of the time you would have a teaching note along with the case. All good cases carries a teaching note. In fact, if you're writing a case for some journal, they would also want a teaching note from you. Okay, so that teaching note would contain information that okay, what are the pointers that are discussed. That teaching note would contain the pointers that okay, how you can to what all classes, at what all levels it can be taught, and things like that. Okay, so refer to that teaching note. That would be of a great help to you, that that will this case study suit, or will this case study suffice, or how how closely this case study would be linked to what I'm trying to teach. Is that is this case study relevant? The objectives of the case, the learning outcomes of the case, and match it with your learning outcomes of that particular topic. So if the two matches, or the closely these two would match, that would be of a great help to you.
So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have something to ask. Shall I?
Yes, yes. Ma'am, please.
Sir, I'm a finance faculty and I'm
Okay.
teaching subjects for MBA students.
Okay, ma'am.
Practically what happens at classes, we take we require a lot of time to explain them the concept and make them the sums to be done. So in such cases, case study finding and making students do it consumes a lot of time. So what is your
Absolutely.
suggestion, sir?
I would suggest that you can look out for different type of sources or resources which have already such type of cases inbuilt into. Like say for example, have you how many of you have got a Harvard Business Educator account, HBS Educator account?
No,
If
sir.
not, please get it. Google it as it is, Harvard Business School Educator account. You would find a link, suitable link, HBS link for that. The critical information that they'll need is that the web page where of your institution, where it is declared that you are a faculty, you are a member of the faculty, you are a teaching person over there, teaching resource person over there. So they would, fill up that information, give them that URL. They may take it maximum a week. Once they approve of you that of an educator account, you would have full access to case studies, case solution, educator copy, and all that thing. So teaching note and all everything would be available to you. That is one idea, ma'am. Plus, many universities, Boston, Kellogg, many universities, they have their own faculty resources. They share their, even for that matter, IIMs also. They have got their own faculty, case publications that they share openly with, you can obviously go and download it and use it for academic purposes. Or what you can do is that, you would find several other sources, okay, wherein you can find out that type of thing. And I'm always in favor, ma'am, that is what the point I was making, that why don't you, collaborate with people, and like say you are facing as a you are facing a finance faculty, as a finance faculty, you are facing this problem. So I'm pretty sure there would be other finance faculties who would be, sailing in the same boat. So why don't we all, we all collaborate and you bring up a book, okay, of case studies in finance. Okay.
Yes.
So that would be of a great help, ma'am.
Yes, sir. This is actually a takeaway from this today's session, that collaborating and creating our own cases.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. After this idea that why don't people collaborate and bring up their own, because that would be a contribution to not only the student fraternity, but many of the people who are struggling, finding an appropriate case.
Yes.
Say, for example, ma'am, in accounting. So our concept of accounting and the international concepts of accounting or the US-based accounting concepts are different. So even
Yes.
if you teach US, US firm which is dealing in US, so how would it help Indian students? God knows. Okay, so it's always better that if you find some cases, or if you write a case, okay, and develop a case study, and then you start teaching that case. So that would, be of actual help and actual, that's what I was saying, that would be a real wisdom addition to the students.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Sir, I can use case studies for economic subjects too. Why not? Yes, absolutely. You can use, you can uh, talk many things in economics from a case studies perspective. Why not? You can always, talk about that how purchasing power parity, the PPP, and a demand for certain product, the supply, and then you can link various ideas, and you would have cases used into that. Obviously, you can obviously use, economics can be taught through case studies. Absolutely, yes. You can link many economics concept and thereby, uh, macro and microeconomics concept, and you can talk in that. Many such data would be available to you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So, Neha, ma'am, over to you. And thank you very much, all my respected participants, all my respected faculty colleagues. Thank you very much for your time and patience. I overshoot the time, and hence you are kind enough to be in this program. So thank you very much. I wish you all the best for your all remaining sessions. Have a great learning ahead, and obviously, have a great evening. Once again, thank you very much. Neha, ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
So, as we draw today's enriching session to close, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to all participants for their valuable contributions. A special thanks to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Sheshti Thabra, sir, for sharing his profound insights with us. And Chabra sir has delivered numerous sessions on diverse topics on our Research Foundation of India platform. And each time his exceptional proficiency, clarity of thought, and impressive presentation style have left us truly inspired. And his soft spoken yet impactful way of imparting knowledge reflects not just his expertise, but also his deep commitment to the growth of learners. So thank you, sir. And we would also like to sincerely thank the organizing committee for their meticulous planning and dedication. Our deep gratitude goes to our supporting partners and sponsors whose continuous support has made this program possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you, everyone, for your kind words of appreciation and being an active participants. Thank you very much. Yograji, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yugi sir. Session is over now.